Have you ever tried to sleep, but suddenly your brain decided that 3 years ago, you said something embarrassing? You close your eyes, and then suddenly, you remember that awkward conversation. You start thinking about tomorrow, then next week, then your future. Then you remember something that happened 5 years ago. And before you know it, it's 3 a.m. You're exhausted. Your body wants to sleep, but your mind refuses to stop. You tell yourself, I need to stop thinking. But somehow, that only makes you think even more. So why does this happen? Why can't you just turn your brain off? The answer is more interesting than you might think. Because overthinking isn't simply thinking too much. It's your brain trying to protect you, but accidentally trapping you in a loop. Imagine you're lying in bed. You suddenly remember an important task you forgot to finish. Your brain immediately asks, what if I mess it up tomorrow? Then another thought appears. What if people think I'm incompetent? Then another. What if I lose my job? And suddenly, one small problem has turned into an imaginary disaster. This is how overthinking works. Your brain takes a small uncertainty and starts creating hundreds of possible outcomes. The problem is, your brain doesn't always know the difference between a possibility and a probability. Just because something could happen, doesn't mean it will happen. But when you're overthinking, your brain treats every possible outcome as if it's already happening. And that's when the loop begins. The human brain hates uncertainty. Think about it. If you know exactly what will happen tomorrow, you feel relatively calm. But if you don't know, your mind starts searching for answers. What if this happens? What if that happens? What should I do? Your brain believes that if it thinks long enough, it will eventually find the perfect answer. So you keep thinking, and thinking, and thinking. But here's the problem. Some questions don't have answers. You can't know exactly what someone else is thinking. You can't know exactly what will happen next month. You can't guarantee that you'll never fail. And you can't control every possible outcome. But your brain keeps trying. Because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. And overthinking feels like control. Even when it isn't. Then there's another type of overthinking. The kind that takes you backward. You replay conversations. Again and again. Why did I say that? Why didn't I say something different? What did they really mean? Did I embarrass myself? You analyze every word, every facial expression, every tiny detail. And the strange thing is, the event is already over. You can't change it, but your brain keeps returning to it. Because your brain is trying to learn from the past. It's asking, how can I make sure this never happens again? The problem is, sometimes the brain doesn't know when to stop. So instead of learning a lesson, you keep reliving the experience. This is called rumination. You're not solving the problem. You're simply replaying it over and over and over again. Then there's the opposite direction. The future. You imagine conversations that haven't happened, problems that don't exist yet, failures that may never happen. You create an entire movie inside your head, and you become the writer, the director, and the main character. The problem? You also become the audience, and you watch the same movie repeatedly. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if everything goes wrong? But here's something important. Your brain is very good at creating possibilities. It's not always good at predicting reality. That's why you can spend hours worrying about something, and then discover that the real event was nothing like you imagined. You suffered before anything actually happened. Here's something many people don't realize. Overthinking doesn't necessarily mean you're unintelligent. In fact, people who overthink often have very active minds. They notice details. They imagine different possibilities. They analyze situations deeply. These can be strengths, but every strength has a downside. The ability to imagine many possibilities can become anxiety. The ability to analyze details can become obsession. The ability to think deeply can become a never-ending loop. The problem isn't that you think. The problem is that you don't know when to stop thinking. Because sometimes, the answer isn't another thought. Sometimes, the answer is action. Here's the difference. Healthy thinking asks, what can I do about this? Overthinking asks, what if something goes wrong? Healthy thinking leads to action. Overthinking leads to more questions. Imagine you have an important presentation tomorrow. Healthy thinking says, I should prepare for 1 hour. So you prepare, you finish, and you move on. Overthinking says, what if I forget my words? What if people laugh? What if I look stupid? What if I completely fail? And suddenly, you spend 3 hours worrying instead of 1 hour preparing. That's the trap. Overthinking feels productive, but often, it's just anxiety wearing the mask of problem solving. So how do you stop? The first step is simple. When you notice yourself overthinking, ask one question. Is there something I can actually do about this right now? If the answer is yes, do it. If you're worried about an exam, study. If you're worried about a conversation, prepare. If you made a mistake, apologize. Take action. But if the answer is no, then recognize something important. You are trying to solve a problem that doesn't currently have a solution, and thinking about it another 100 times won't change the outcome. Sometimes, you need to accept uncertainty, not because everything will be okay, but because you can't control everything. Here's a simple technique. When a thought keeps coming back, give yourself 10 minutes. Sit down. Write everything you're worried about. Don't keep it inside your head. Put it on paper. Then divide your thoughts into 2 categories. Things I can control and things I can't control. For the first category, choose one small action. For the second, practice letting go. You don't need to solve your entire life tonight. You don't need to know exactly what will happen tomorrow. You only need to decide what you can do today. That's it. One step. Not the entire staircase. Just the next step. And maybe the most important thing to understand is this. Your brain isn't your enemy. The thoughts you have aren't always facts. A thought is just a thought. When your brain says, you're going to fail, that doesn't mean you will. When it says, everyone hates you, that doesn't mean it's true. When it says, something terrible is going to happen, that doesn't mean something terrible will happen. Your brain produces thoughts. Your job isn't to believe every single one. Your job is to observe them, question them, and decide which ones deserve your attention. Because you are not every thought that enters your mind. So tonight, if you're lying in bed and your mind starts running again, don't fight it. Don't tell yourself, I have to stop thinking. Instead, notice the thought. Take a breath. Ask yourself, can I do something about this right now? If you can, take action. If you can't, let tomorrow deal with tomorrow. You don't have to solve every problem before you go to sleep. You don't have to predict every possible future. And you don't have to understand everything tonight. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply accept that you don't know. And that's okay. Because life will always contain uncertainty. There will always be unanswered questions. There will always be things outside your control. But you don't have to carry all of them inside your head at the same time. So give your mind a break. Put the phone down. Take a breath. And remember, you don't need to figure out your entire life tonight. You just need to live this moment. Maybe, for the first time in a long time,